Okay. And so this begins. Hi. Hey. How's it going? My name is Janela, and this is the beginning of my vlog series. I am currently in the process of moving to South Korea to teach English as a second language to little babies, little kids. And in this episode, I want to begin the journey like at the beginning. So I am currently sorting through my clothes, packing. Say hi to Serendipity. That's my cat. My girl. She'll be running around probably. So yeah, so as I pack, I'll talk to you guys about how it all started, the process that I'm going through now, and what I'm expecting from this experience. So I'm just gonna start. So this started with me just wanting to live abroad. I've always loved traveling. I've always felt drawn to other places and wanted to learn other cultures and meet other peoples, right? So that's what kind of started this whole shebang, I'll say. I visited South Korea earlier this year, actually. I spent a week there in July with my two friends and my sister, and I fell in love with the place. We were in Seoul, and we stayed in an area called Itaewon, and it was amazing. It was fantastic. There were so many different things to try, like experiences, and I wanted to experience more of it. Like by the end of the week, I didn't feel as though it was the end of my time there, basically. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it. And so when I got back, I started looking seriously into like living abroad, and it was mentioned to me about teaching English, so I started looking into that, and that's how I found teaching English as a second language and how big of an opportunity it was, right? So, like I said, I took it more seriously. I looked more into it, and what I did, how I got started, for those of you who are curious, I found this website called Dave's ESL Cafe. Yeah, Dave's ESL Cafe, and there is where I published my resume and the areas that I was interested in teaching in. And I was honestly really open in the beginning. Like this was like right after my trip, but then the more I thought about it, the more I felt drawn to South Korea. So that's why whenever I started getting like replies from schools and from recruiters, I was more in contact with those who were in South Korea. So eventually this school came along. I don't know, I feel weird about saying the name, so I'm just gonna skip over that part. And so the assistant director reached out to me and asked me about, like when I'd be expecting to start, blah, 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 and it just so happened that they needed somebody, like, right as my lease for my apartment was ending. So I was like, this works out really well. So things started moving along with that. It was, oh, goodness. If you want to do this, you need to have patience. It was a very long and frustrating and tedious process, but worth it. Absolutely 100% worth it all in the end, So as, time went on, it started to get, I don't know, things started moving more quickly, I'll say. And they ended up needed me to start sooner than expected. So I was originally supposed to start in like December, I think like December 1st. And they asked me to start sooner. And I was like, sure. Well, I got to lose, sure, whatever. So, things started getting expedited. I had to get my diploma. I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, so I had to get my diploma. I think it's pronounced apostolize. Don't hate me if I pronounce that wrong. And I also had to get my FBI fingerprint clearances, and that also had to be apostolized. One of the two. You'll figure it out. I'll show you. So once that was done, I sent that in. I had to review and sign the contract that they sent me, like my teaching contract. Most contracts run for a year. Be careful with that. I mean, I'm sure some schools they run a little differently or whatever. So make sure you know how long the contract that you're working is gonna be. Like if this is something that you want to do. And so, what came after that? I got that done. Got that apostille. Okay, and then I think that's whenever the time for the visa came in. So after you send in all of your paperwork and go back and forth with whatever they need you to sign, the school will send in your information so that you can go ahead and get your teaching visa. Typically, it's an E2 visa, like from what I've researched, and speaking from what the visa that I have an E2 visa, which is typically for like teaching English purposes. And so that it took a while, like on their part, to like process my information in on the visa. And whenever you get your like it's like a code or a number, you have to send in another application to your local Korean embassy or consulate. Mine was like a Korean consulate, and I live in Pennsylvania, so the closest one for me was New York. So I had to, it's kind of scary, but trust me, it's okay. I had to send my passport along with the application and, you know, of course, paying for any fees. I had to send that to them, and it, in my case, I'm speaking from personal experience, I don't want to mislead anyone, but in my case, it was processed rather quickly. I had like a tracking thing on it, and so I know that it was delivered on a Monday, and I got a notification that it was being sent back out to me on that same, like the Friday of the end of that week, so crazy. So that leads us to where I am now. After you go through all of the applications, there were interviews thrown in there as well. I had a phone interview first, and I had a second Skype interview with the official director of the school. Sorry, forgot to mention that. So after you get everything situated and you're finally make it to that step, when you get your visa back and your passport, it'll be like on a page in there, like stuck in there, you know. When you get that back, that's when your school will buy your ticket. If your school buys your ticket. In my case, I'm lucky enough to have one of those schools that buy my plane ticket. Yes, most schools will provide for your housing. Sorry if I forgot to mention that too. Now I am actually waiting to hear back from the assistant director, like my contact person with the school, waiting to hear back to see what time my flight will be. I was supposed to leave out between the 16th and the 19th. That was like our wiggle room, you know, because we didn't know when my visa would get back. And now it was the 16th. She wanted me to fly out, which was fine. I was expecting that. She said 16 and 19. So that worked out. And then as of yesterday, well, technically this morning, because, you know, time zone different. Technically today, as of today, early this morning, I was asked if I would be willing to fly out this Thursday. I don't know when I'll upload this video, but today's Monday. So, a little last minute. But it's fine. Completely fine. So, things are moving quickly, and I'm waiting currently to hear back from her about what time my flight will be, and waiting for my just overall itinerary. Like, I know that she has other things to send me as well, so fine. I'll say what I'm most excited about and what I'm most nervous about, okay? I am most nervous about, this might sound silly, but it's true, grocery shopping. I have lived on my own for like 2 years now, and grocery shopping is still a struggle for me in America. So imagine my struggle in another country, but you know, I'm sure I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I'll probably take you guys along with me for that adventure too. I'm sure that'll be entertaining. Um, and something I'm most excited about, I think, is to um, just be there. I think, like I said, I've always wanted to live abroad. I never thought that it would be South Korea. For those of you who know me, and for those of you that don't, I'll let you know. Australia has a huge part of my heart. I was actually given the opportunity to study abroad there for a semester in college. So I was there for about 5 months, and it's still a second home to me. Basically, like it made a huge impact on me. And so moving to South Korea wasn't something that I expected, but not something I'm gonna pass up, you know. So I'm most nervous about grocery shopping, and I'm most excited about just being there, the experience, and I think being a positive influence on the youth I think it's gonna be a really fun and cool experience. So, yeah. Well, thank you for being here with me as I pack. Say hello to Serendipity. Sari, say bye. Say bye. She's shy. Until next time.